Activity meters measure the activity of individual cows. Early meters, those available before 2010, were simple pedometers that counted every step a cow made, but that was then. The activity meters on the market today function using 3D accelerometers, the same technology used in Fitbits. And like Fitbits, the data they generate and the way it's analysed has become very sophisticated. The meters recognise different patterns and combinations of posture and activity. The length of time a cow is walking, resting, lying down, feeding, and for some, ruminating. This data feeds into complex formulas known as algorithms that predict a variety of events, such as whether the cow is likely to be on heat, sick or calving. And given that activity meters are a hot topic for research, the range of applications and accuracy continues to increase. A 2018 TechKISS survey found that 26% of dairy farmers in New South Wales were using activity meters, especially in large herds. Uptake is relatively recent, with 2/3 having purchased their meters in the last 2 years. New South Wales dairy farmers primarily use activity meters to reduce the labour needed to detect cows that are on heat or sick. They monitor cows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which can be helpful if the signs of heat are expressed for a relatively short period or when the cows are grazing or at night. Other outcomes valued by TechKISS farmers include being able to pick out cows for preg testing and identify non-cyclers and early abortions, being able to dry off or sell cows that aren't in calf, being more confident in the use of sexed semen, having more fresh cows, having less bulls running with the herd, and being comfortable to leave the farm, knowing people less familiar with the cows could pick up heats or health issues. In this video, we'll cover how activity meters work, what makes them smart, whether they're a collar or leg band, or more recently, ear tag or rumen bolus, what products are available in Australia, and advice from farmers and service providers about how to make them work for your farm. An activity meter system consists of the activity meter, which is a transponder with a battery that transmits the data it collects as a radio signal every 15 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the product. What happens next depends on the design of the technology, but fundamentally it's a pathway that gets the data to a software app on a PC or in the cloud, on the internet. The signal is received by either an antenna, which is tuned to the radio frequency of the activity meter and converts it into digital signals, coded data, or for a few systems, a Wi-Fi router. The cached data is sent for processing. We've used the generic term system controller here, but there can be various black boxes involved. And the processed data is made available to the activity meter software on a local computer or on the internet. An advantage of cloud-based systems is that smartphone apps can be used to access information and alerts by any farm worker anywhere. Smartphones use a local router when it's available, and if it isn't, default to the cellular network using the data plan you have with your internet service provider. Ideally, the activity meter software integrates with the herd management system, so essential details like calving dates don't have to be entered in 2 separate systems. The project has put together a spreadsheet of activity meters available in Australia. This list is called the Tech Matrix. You can find it on the New South Wales Department of Primary Industries website. This slide shows the first page of the Tech Matrix. Technologies that have a white star and a blue circle are included in the Tech Matrix. To get to the activity meter page, click on the Activity Meter tab. In 2019, there were 17 activity meters commercially available in Australia. The first 4 entries are shown here. The product name is given in the column on the left. The other columns show whether the meter is essentially the same meter as another but with a different brand named, options for where it's placed, what the sensor detects, rumination or maybe other capabilities, what types of alerts are given, whether the data is located locally or on the cloud, and some information about what herd management software and other kit that the activity meter is known to work with. Then there's the range of the antenna, which is affected by the topography of the farm, but nothing that can't be sorted without a thoughtful installation, and the battery life. Many products have a battery life that lasts for 5 years or more. It was less for earlier models, and there are still a few of these devices around. While 90% of farms with activity meters said they had made a significant difference to the farm business, only 65% said they were doing everything that had been anticipated. The rest of this tech talk gives some tips on how to get good outcomes from activity meters using the experiences of TechKISS farmers. Whatever meter you buy today, you'll probably have for the next 5 to 10 years. So getting one that does what you want, both now and into the future, is important. Many farmers recommended talking to other farmers that have and use the meters you're interested in, as well as the tech suppliers and service providers. What you're interested in will be shaped by factors such as whether you prefer a collar, e-tag or leg band. Functionality is also important. For some products you can choose to have features, notably rumination, switched on as part of the license agreement. Your choice may be influenced by retention rates on cows that have the device, or what level and type of maintenance to expect. Then there's the length of warranty and the component that warranty covers, and whether issues can be fixed in a reasonable time. If the meters are being used for heat detection, being able to fix or replace them within 24 hours is important. If it's a software issue, many are now addressed immediately with the service provider accessing the system remotely. The farm needs to have the appropriate animal handling facilities to fit and remove the devices safely, farm workers who have been trained to do so, supported by a written protocol. The final choice of activity meters should always be based on how the product integrates with the other tech used on the farm, such as auto drafting or herd management software, and the level of support available. A strong recommendation from a farm manager who had used the collars on hundreds of cows for more than 6 years was don't just buy to a price, buy to a service. With good coverage, data can be downloaded in time to use as the cows come into the dairy. Getting real-time data is very achievable. Repeater stations might be needed in hilly country or over long distances to ensure sufficient signal coverage. The rule of thumb is if you can see the antenna, signal transmission should be good. While it's obvious that cows need to be wearing the activity meters, this can be more involved than you think. The devices need to be assigned to the right cow, especially if they are being transferred between animals. The meters should be positioned on the cow according to the manufacturer's instructions. Location affects the functionality of some devices. Cows need to wear the meters typically for 7 days to establish their baseline data, and the farm should have a routine in place that ensures lost or non-functioning meters are quickly identified and replaced. One farm stored loose transponders in a steel cabinet to stop them from being accidentally read. Now to the pointy end, acting on alerts. Activity meters raise alerts when an event, such as being on heat or sick or calving, is likely. But remember, these alerts are only predictions. They will be right a lot of the time and wrong sometimes, picking some cows that aren't affected or missing some cows that are. The key to making it work for your farm is to have well-described protocol for each of the different types of alert, so all farm staff know what to do and do it consistently. The last comment is on the cost of activity meters. Activity meters are more expensive than other heat detection systems, requiring considerable upfront investment. However, in a case study of a year-round herd in Northern Australia, the gains in reproductive performance were superior to other options. Payback times are shorter when the activity meter significantly reduces labour costs, requiring less observation and no need to apply paint or patches or interpret the result. And when it reduces the intercalving interval, the age at first calving, semen costs and production losses in sick cows due to earlier treatment. Points to help you get the most from your activity meters are summarised on a TechKISS topic sheet. You can use this to help discuss what's best for your farm when talking with your tech suppliers, service providers and other farmers. We hope this information has been useful. Other cow management technologies covered in this series include auto drafting, computerised bale feeding and inline milk meters.